Hey everyone, this is Tim from Your Six Studios. Today in this video, I'm going to show you how to take apart your Xbox Series X or S controller and fix the stick drift that you have on. Now, most of the time you can fix the stick drift by simply pressing up and down just like this repeatedly and then blowing in some compressed air to the sides here, or using your mouth and blowing any kind of dust or debris that may be accumulated on the sensors there. Now, to take apart the controller, this is relatively easy. I'm going to be using a T9 Torx screwdriver to do this. Then also I'm going to be using a plastic piece just like this to create some separation on the side like this. And then you can remove the side panels. And these are actually relatively easy to remove. Just don't use a metal piece. Now you could try using like your screwdriver or something like that, but this metal piece will damage the plastic panels on here. So if you have any kind of plastic tool laying around, just create some separation and then feed it in the side just like this. And then work your way down the middle. And then you can easily just pop this up. Now, it may take you like a minute to do this if it's your first time, but just create some separation. And then once you get to about the middle, you can just pop it off. Now remove the batteries. And then in the middle, there's going to be one screw under where it says Xbox Wireless Controller. And then you can just pierce this and it'll expose it. Now you can use a T8 or T9 screwdriver to remove this. And there's going to be 5 screws total. So I'm just going to remove the center screw right here and then place this to the side. And the other screws I already have removed right here. And they're going to be located here, here, over here, in here. So there's going to be 5 screws total. Now keep these in a safe spot so they don't roll away and get lost on you or fall into the carpet. Okay, so once you have all the screws removed, this back panel will be removed quite easily. You just have to pull it off, just like that. And then you can see the underlying board here. And these motors might pop off on you if you flip over the controller. So this is what they look like and this is where they go. And then we can remove the front panel here too by simply just lifting this off. And then you can see the thumbsticks. Now you can remove these right now, put these to the side. Depending on the one that you're having issue with, most of the time you're probably going to have an issue with the bottom one right here. And you could try simply taking some compressed air right now and blowing it in here. Maybe this will remove any kind of dirt or debris that's just sitting on these actuators. Or you could try cleaning it off with some rubbing alcohol right now and then just use a little Q-tip. So maybe I'll do that right now. And then you can just do this right here. Maybe this will fix it and then you don't have to break it all the way down. So there's a couple different things we can do before we completely remove it, just see if it works. Now to get into here, we actually want to flip the controller back around. And there's going to be these 2 little wires right here that we need to lift up. And then there's going to be multiple screws. So we have a screw here. And then we have one over here. And then we have one here and here. So we have 4 screws that we got to remove. And then we got to lift these up. Now these can be quite tricky to get back in. Just remember the position of where they are. And be very gentle and careful with these because these could break relatively easy. So let's lift them up. So that one lifted up. And then let's lift up this one. So we're going to have to put those back on later. And you can kind of see where they go, but it is quite difficult to see. And it's kind of like a gold little plate that they're going to be connecting to. And then we have wires over here that we have to be careful not to go ahead and disconnect by accident because we would have to resolder those. So be very careful doing this. So these screws right here are going to be T6. So this is much smaller than the T8 or T9 that we were using before. Make sure these don't fall into the carpet once again because these are a little bit smaller. Now we can just lift this up, but be very, very gentle so you don't dislodge any of these wires over here. And it may seem like it's kind of sturdy at first, but just move it around and then you should be able to lift this up. And you have to feed through this thumbsticks over here. All right, so they're pushing down now. Okay, so let's clear this and lift this back up. And these 2 little wires will have to feed back in here later on, so we can remove these. Now we have access to the thumbsticks. And this little piece did come off, and we will have to put this back on later. Now we have access to the thumbsticks, and I'm going to do the left thumbstick here just in case something does happen. You can easily damage this, so be very careful. And I prefer using plastic pieces to do this to create some separation between the actuator here and this little green box or this green piece. And we want to open this up. And you have two of them. You have one on top and then one to the side here. Alright, so there we go. I have a little bit of separation there. Now I'm going to peel this back just a little bit and be very gentle and careful when you're doing this. Now you can probably use your hand at this point. Alright, heard a little bit of a snap. Alright, now we don't want to bend this back very far. We just want to get to the point where we can clean this or remove the little sensor in here. Otherwise, at this point, we could also just take some rubbing alcohol and then clean off the inside here, just like this. See if this works. Make sure none of the cotton fibers from here get stuck in there. But you could also remove this. So I'll just remove this. Kind of have to remember the way that you bring this out. Alright, so here it is. It's just a little metallic piece right here. And then we can put it to the side. And then we can take our rubbing alcohol with our Q-tip. And then we can clean this off. And make sure we're not pushing down this little metallic piece right here. You can see it comes out just a little bit. So be very careful you're not bending that. Then clean off the inside of this too. And it may look a bit dark or greasy or wherever in here. But just go into here and then just clean this off really well. And you can look at the Q-tip, see if there's anything in there. And you might have to do the top one here as well. So you got two of them on each side. You got the side one and then the top one. Now we have to put this piece back in. So we want to put it in like this, where these kind of metallic areas are facing down and we can see the black cover. So you can kind of see the two little metallic areas facing down, and then the rounded black cover will be on the top. So let's just put this back in. And then we can rotate it around. Alright, so that looks good. It should be in place. And then we can just close it back up and snap it in. And we got to get this to snap completely on the side as well. Okay, heard the snap. You can move this around, make sure it feels good. And you might want to put the thumbstick on just to kind of get a feel of it too. So it feels like it's smooth. And it should be working now. So just repeat the process on this left thumbstick. Then if you have an issue with the right thumbstick, do that too. Now let's reassemble our controller. So let's slowly flip this around. And this little board right here will have to connect to this piece down here. And we'll have to push it into place. So you can see all these different pins, they need to connect into here. And then we do have this piece we have to place back on. And you can kind of look at it if this did come off. This looks like the 3.5mm headphone jack. So this will go to the side right here. And then we want to keep all these magnetic kind of looking objects up to the top. And then it should just fit right into place here. And it should be connecting on the back of the board. Okay, so here's the headphone jack right here. And then we have these two wires that are kind of just angling on the side. So I'm going to have to get those out of the way. And I'm going to flip this around. Okay. So that's moved, and I have it in place. Then let's get these two wires back and push them on top. So I got that one, and I got this one. Now we have to make a solid connection on the bottom and make sure this headphone jack doesn't dislodge on us. So it should be right about there. And then you can look at it from this angle, and you can see when it snaps into place. And then you can just press down. Okay, that feels good. And this is in the right spot too. Should be making a connection. And then we have to feed these back into this place. And this one through here. And this is going to be probably the most difficult part, I'd say, putting these back on. So you have to find the area they get back on, and then you need to snap them into place. So you can kind of see these golden or metallic little, you're going to have to put these back on them and then press down. So let's go to this one, find it there, and snap it. Okay, so that one's on. Now do the same thing with the other one. Alright, so it looks like it's right on there. Let's press down now. Alright, so I have both of them connected. This is how they look like. And that could be a little bit tricky. You just have to feel around and then press down. And they should snap into place. So it looks like everything is good here. Now we have to put those 4 T6 screws in. Okay, so we got those back in. Now we have to put on the front and the back cover. So we can flip this around. And if you haven't already, this is where you need to put the thumbsticks back in. So it's very easy to replace these. So if they ever get damaged, I mean, you literally just have to pop off the covers. Then you can remove these. And then you can put the front cover back on. Flip it around. And let's put the back cover back on. And just feed it on top. And then we have 5 screws to put back on. And make sure this is sitting well and it's fitted well on the side and there's no gaps. And then we'll have those 5 screws. And then we have the ones on the side right here. So 5 total. So in case you lost one of these in the carpet, it's not completely imperative that we screw all these in, but I'd say the most important one is probably the one in the middle. All right, now let's put these side panels on. These should just snap into place. So let's put it on here. Make sure it's on the right side. And then press down, snaps on. Doesn't look like there's a lot of separation or gaps. Let's do it with the left side here. Okay, that's looking good. Then place your batteries back in and then your battery cover. Test out your thumbsticks and you might have to reconnect your controller. Well, hopefully this video did indeed help you out. If it did, leave it a big thumbs up. And subscribe to my channel down below for more tech videos coming up next on Your 6 Studios.